Lila had always wanted a pet. She had asked for one countless times, dreaming of soft fur to cuddle, tiny paws to chase, or colorful scales to admire. Her room was already full of stuffed animals, but none of them moved, none of them talked, and none of them could share adventures with her. When she finally persuaded her parents to visit the city's new interspecies companion center, her excitement felt almost unbearable. Her father sighed but smiled, and her mother nodded with a careful, cautious look. Lila didn't care. Today she would find her new friend. The companion center was a marvel of technology and imagination. Glass enclosures lined the walls, each one filled with strange creatures of every shape, size, and color. Some fluttered like tiny birds, while others padded softly across the floor like miniature tigers. Their eyes glimmered with intelligence, and every now and then a chirp, squeak, or hum suggested something more than ordinary animals. Lila's heart raced as she stepped inside. The air smelled faintly of clean metal and flowers, an odd combination that seemed to fit the creatures perfectly. "Remember," her mother said, tugging gently at Lila's sleeve, "not all of these creatures are meant for children. Some require very specific care." "I know, Mom," Lila said, bouncing on her toes. "I'll pick the perfect one." "You'll see." For a long time she wandered among the enclosures, watching, guessing, and whispering to the creatures. Some watched her back with polite curiosity, while others ignored her completely, and then she saw him. He was small, barely bigger than a cat, with dark, bristly fur and piercing amber eyes that seemed to look straight into her thoughts. Unlike the other creatures, he didn't curl up or prance around. He simply sat on his little perch, arms crossed, with an expression that could only be described as annoyed or maybe bored. Lila tilted her head and stepped closer. "Hello there," she said softly. The creature blinked slowly, then stood up on its hind legs. "Finally, someone worth my attention," it said in a deep, gruff voice. Lila stumbled backward in surprise. You can talk?" she whispered, her eyes wide. "Of course I can talk," the creature replied, smirking. "And I will. Whether you like it or not." Lila's mouth opened and closed like a goldfish, but she quickly found her words. "You're amazing. Can I take you home?" The creature tilted its head. "Take me home? Are you sure you can handle me? I don't purr or roll over. I fight, I argue, and I expect respect. If you want a cuddly toy, keep looking. I'm special." Lila's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Special is perfect." Her parents exchanged worried glances. "Are you sure this one is safe?" her father asked. The creature puffed up slightly. "Safe? I am trained to protect. I fight if needed. I speak if needed. I do not shed. I am the ultimate companion. But you must earn my trust," Lila laughed. "I can do that. I promise." Her parents sighed, but the decision was Lila's. After a quick consultation with the center's staff, she was allowed to adopt him. She named him Kiro, a name that somehow seemed to suit his stubborn and confident personality. From the moment they walked out of the center, Lila and Kiro were inseparable. Though it quickly became clear that their relationship would not be simple. The first hours at home were a whirlwind. Kiro explored every corner, climbing shelves, sniffing cupboards, and muttering complaints about the lack of proper perches and windows with better sunlight. Lila giggled at his antics, following him around like a tiny, curious shadow. He had a sharp tongue and a tendency to sass back, but his loyalty became obvious when he stayed close to her side, watching carefully as she unpacked his supplies. "You really think you can handle me?" Kiro asked suddenly, crossing his tiny arms. "I already do," Lila said, bouncing on her heels. "We're going to have the best adventures ever." Kiro narrowed his eyes. "We'll see. I judge actions, not words." Despite his grumbling, he allowed Lila to feed him and arrange his sleeping area. The creature ate with surprising manners, though he occasionally muttered under his breath about childish offerings and unfit bowls. Lila laughed every time. She had never met a pet like this before, and she was delighted. By evening, the city's lights began to twinkle outside Lila's window, casting long shadows across her room. Kiro sat on the edge of her desk, watching her carefully as she drew pictures of planets and spaceships. She had always loved science fiction, dreaming of exploring the stars, and now she had a companion who seemed almost like a mini guardian for all her wild ideas. "Do you ever get bored?" she asked him. "Bored? I'm constantly analyzing threats, calculating probabilities, and preparing for the unexpected," Kiro said with a hint of pride. "You might call me vigilant," Lila laughed. That's a fancy word for I'm going to be a little scary sometimes. Scary is subjective, he replied. I prefer formidable, and yes, I can be formidable. For you, of course. As the night grew deeper, Cairo jumped onto her bed, curling up in a surprisingly gentle way. Lila felt a sense of comfort she had never expected from a creature so small and fierce. She realized that even though he was challenging, even though he argued and fought for attention, he was already loyal and protective. That loyalty made him more than a pet. He was a companion, maybe even a friend, and she felt a rush of pride. The first test of their bond came sooner than expected. Late that night, a strange noise echoed from the street outside. Lila sat up and Kiro immediately sprang to the window, his ears twitching and his eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. They're here, he said simply. Who's here? Lila asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Kiro didn't answer. Instead, he leapt silently onto the floor, moving with astonishing speed. Lila followed him, her heart pounding as he positioned himself near the door, alert and ready. When the noise became louder, a faint scraping sound followed by muffled voices, Kiro's body tensed. Lila realized with awe that this tiny creature, this scrappy companion she had just met, was already prepared to fight for her. She felt a mixture of fear and pride. He wasn't just talking. He was acting. He was proving that he was the one he claimed to be. After a tense moment, the source of the noise revealed itself. A delivery robot, malfunctioning and clanging against the doorframe. Kiro sprang forward with surprising agility, intercepting it and nudging it back safely. Lila laughed nervously, relieved but amazed. You see? I told you. I am vigilant, Kiro said, sitting back and dusting his paws. And now you owe me more respect. Lila smiled, stroking his head gently. You're incredible. I think we're going to be a really great team. Kiro blinked slowly, a sign of approval in his species. Perhaps. But remember, actions speak louder than words. The next challenge could be much harder. Lila snuggled beside him, thinking about what he had said. She had always wanted a pet, yes, but she had never imagined one like Kiro. Talking, sassy, strong, and fiercely loyal. He was unlike anything she had ever known, and already, she felt a bond forming that was stronger than words could express. As she drifted off to sleep, she realized something else. Life was about to get a lot more exciting. With Kiro by her side, every day promised adventure, laughter, and maybe even danger. But she was ready. Together, they would face whatever came next. And she couldn't wait to see what that would be. And somewhere deep inside, Kiro thought the same thing, though he would never admit it so plainly. For now, they slept, a girl and her extraordinary companion, ready for a world that neither of them fully understood yet, but one they were determined to explore together. The next morning, Lila woke up to the soft hum of the city outside her window. Kiro was already awake, perched on her desk, his amber eyes scanning the room with the same sharp intensity he had shown the night before. Lila stretched and yawned, smiling at him. Good morning, Kiro. Did you sleep well? I do not require sleep in the same way you do, Kiro said, tilting his head. But I rested my mind. That counts, Lila laughed softly. You really are one of a kind. I think we're going to make a great team, Kiro smirked. We shall see. Words are easy, actions, less so. They spent the morning exploring the small park near their apartment. Lila ran freely, tossing a small ball for Kiro, who caught it mid-air with surprising skill. He darted and leapt with unmatched agility, moving like a shadow, fast and precise. The other children stared, their eyes wide with amazement as the talking creature performed tricks that no ordinary animal could. Some of the children even whispered, asking their parents what kind of pet he was. He's a special kind, Lila said proudly, beaming. His name is Kiro, and he talks, fights, and is really smart. Kiro, who was now sitting with his arms crossed, muttered, and modest too. Don't forget modesty. It is important. Lila giggled at his insistence on etiquette. She had thought pets were supposed to be cute and simple, but Kiro was far more complex. He argued, teased, and gave her advice as if he were her older brother rather than a small furry companion. And yet she felt safe with him in a way she could not explain. By midday they returned home tired but happy. Lila's parents were in the living room, discussing work and daily tasks. When Lila ran in to tell them about Kiro's morning, her mother frowned slightly. Did he behave well? She asked cautiously. He did more than behave, Lila said, her eyes shining. He's amazing. Look at this. She explained how Kiro caught the ball, ran faster than any other child's pet, and even seemed to understand what she was thinking. Her father nodded slowly, still skeptical. It sounds impressive, but remember, Lila, he's not just any pet. He's unusual.
Keep an eye on him. I will,
Lila promised. She could sense that Kiro understood this too. The creature gave her a brief nod, as if confirming silently that he would be on his best behavior. For now. The peaceful day, however, did not last long. Late in the afternoon, as shadows stretched across the city streets, a strange commotion began in the nearby plaza. People were running and shouting, and an unusual mechanical whirring filled the air. Lila's curiosity was instantly piqued. Kairo's ears twitched. "Danger approaching," he said simply. "Stay close." Lila grabbed his tiny paw, and together they ran toward the source of the noise. From a distance, they could see a group of robotic drones swooping down, causing chaos. Some people screamed as the machines knocked over carts and scrambled to control the panic. Lila's heart pounded, but Kairo's presence gave her courage. "They're stealing things," Lila said, pointing at the drones. "We have to do something." Kiro's eyes glimmered with determination. "We do not simply stand and watch. Follow my lead." Before Lila could respond, Kiro darted forward. He moved faster than she had ever seen, weaving through the crowd with ease. The drones tried to intercept him, but he leapt and dodged with incredible agility, knocking them off course. Lila ran behind him, using her quick thinking to help people move to safety. She directed them toward alleyways and out of danger, feeling a rush of exhilaration she had never experienced before. One of the drones turned toward them, firing a low-intensity pulse that could have knocked a normal person off balance. Kiro blocked it effortlessly, letting out a sharp growl. "You cannot harm her," he said firmly. Lila felt a shiver of awe. He wasn't just a pet. He was a protector. As the fight continued, Kiro's intelligence became even more apparent. He analyzed each drone's movements, predicting their attacks, and guided Lila to act strategically. "Pull that lever on the side," he shouted at one moment. Lila followed his instructions, sending a malfunctioning drone tumbling into a fountain. The other drones paused, confused by the unexpected disruption. "You're amazing, Kiro," Lila exclaimed, dodging a falling sign. "I warned you," Kiro replied, eyes focused. "Words are easy. Actions are harder. Today you act well. That earns my approval." After several tense minutes, the drones retreated, their mission interrupted. People cheered, clapping and thanking Lila and Kiro, though they had no idea exactly how the girl and her small companion had defeated the advanced machines. Lila felt a surge of pride, but she also realized how much danger there had been. She looked at Kiro, who was panting slightly, his eyes scanning for any remaining threats. "You saved me," Lila said softly, brushing his fur. "I couldn't have done it without you." Kiro's ears twitched. "You played your part well." "I am impressed. The human mind can be unpredictable but clever. Do not forget this lesson. Courage and intelligence together create power." As the crowd dispersed, Lila and Kiro walked home slowly. The city was calm again, but the sense of urgency lingered in the air. Lila's parents were waiting anxiously at the door. "Kiro?" her mother asked cautiously.
Was it safe?
"Yes," Kiro said bluntly, stepping forward and puffing out his chest. "The immediate threat is gone. The child is unharmed. The humans may believe it was luck, but it was skill and cooperation. They must learn the difference." Her father frowned but gave a small nod. I see. "Well, thank you, Kiro." Lila felt a deep warmth in her chest. Kiro had proven himself, not only to her but to everyone who had witnessed the danger. And she realized something important. This little creature, as stubborn and sassy as he could be, was truly remarkable. He was capable, loyal, and willing to fight for her no matter the risk. That evening, back in her room, Lila sat at her desk, drawing a picture of Kiro in action. She wanted to capture the excitement, the bravery, and the loyalty he had shown. Kiro watched silently, perched nearby, occasionally muttering critiques about her artistic technique. "You must exaggerate the claws and agility," he advised. "Accuracy matters, even in drawings. Realism conveys power." Lila laughed. "You're impossible, Kiro, but I love it. You make everything more exciting." Kiro's ears twitched in what she guessed was a satisfied expression. "Exciting, yes, but also dangerous. Do not become careless. The world is not always calm. Remember this lesson." Lila nodded solemnly. She understood that the adventure they had faced today was only a beginning. With Kiro by her side, she felt braver and smarter than ever. and she knew that more challenges would come. But together, they could handle anything. As she drifted off to sleep that night, Kiro curled beside her again. This time he was quieter, almost thoughtful, as if he too were reflecting on the day. Lila reached out and held his paw, feeling the warmth and strength there. They had faced danger and succeeded, but more importantly, they had learned to trust each other completely. For the first time, Lila realized that having a pet was about more than fun or companionship. It was about loyalty, courage, and facing challenges together. And with Kiro, she felt ready for whatever the future might bring. Somewhere deep inside, Kiro thought the same thing. He may have been small, he may have argued constantly, but he had found a human he would protect at all costs. And that bond, he knew, was worth every challenge that lay ahead. The morning after the city's chaos, Lila woke with a sense of anticipation. Something felt different. Kiro was unusually quiet, sitting on her desk with a focused expression she had not seen before. The usual banter and teasing were missing, replaced by a calm, thoughtful gaze. "Good morning, Kiro," Lila said cheerfully, stretching and rubbing her eyes. "Did you sleep well?" "I am not human," Kiro replied evenly. "Sleep is not required, but I monitored the surroundings. There is something I must reveal." Lila tilted her head. "Reveal? What do you mean?" Kiro hopped down from the desk, pacing in front of her. "You trust me, do you not?" "Of course. I trust you with my life," Lila said without hesitation. "Then you must listen carefully," Kiro said, his voice serious. "I am not an ordinary companion. I was created in a human experiment designed to test intelligence, loyalty, and protective instincts. My species, or rather my kind, was trained to assist and protect gifted humans in dangerous situations." Lila blinked, trying to process his words. "Wait, you mean you're like a human experiment, but you look like a pet?" "I appear as a small, pet-like creature to avoid suspicion and to facilitate trust," Kiro explained. "My abilities, strength, agility, intelligence are enhanced. I am here to observe, protect, and guide you. That is my mission." For a moment, Lila could only stare. She had always known Kiro was unusual, but she had never imagined he had such a purpose. "So, all this time you were watching me?" "Observing, yes," Kiro said. "Not in a cruel way. I am designed to ensure your safety and to help you grow strong, clever, and confident. Everything I do is to prepare you for challenges you may not yet understand." Lila felt a mix of awe and worry. "So all the fun we had and the way you talked to me, that was part of it?" Kiro gave a small nod. "Yes, but also to help you learn, adapt, and trust your instincts. Human courage is not innate. It grows through experience, and I am here to make sure you survive those experiences." Lila hugged Kiro tightly, suddenly realizing how much she had come to care for him. "I don't care why you were made. You're still my friend. I trust you completely." Kiro blinked slowly, a sign of respect in his species. "I acknowledge that trust. It is rare and valuable. Few humans understand the importance of loyalty and courage." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden alert from Kiro's heightened senses. Outside, the soft hum of drones returned, this time more organized, more dangerous. Lila's heart raced, but she felt no fear, not with Kiro by her side. "They are back," Kiro said, crouching in a ready stance. "This is no ordinary malfunction. Someone is orchestrating these attacks. They seek to test abilities, perhaps to capture gifted humans like you." Lila's mind raced. She had always thought life would be ordinary, but now she realized how much she had underestimated the world. "What should we do?" she asked, determination rising in her voice. "We must investigate," Kiro said. "Information is the first step. Strength alone is not enough. Human intelligence combined with my abilities will give us the advantage." Together they prepared for the mission. Kiro inspected the equipment Lila had in her backpack, repurposing her gadgets with surprising skill. Lila packed her sketchbook, some snacks, and a small flashlight. She had learned that even small tools could make a difference. Kiro adjusted his movements, teaching her how to move quietly, how to analyze surroundings, and how to anticipate potential danger. As they stepped into the city streets, the quiet tension of the morning contrasted sharply with the chaos of the previous day. The drones moved in synchronized patterns, scanning the area for humans. Kiro guided Lila along rooftops and alleyways, keeping them hidden while gathering information. He whispered instructions, and Lila followed each one precisely, discovering that she could think clearly even under pressure. "Look," Kiro said, pointing to a narrow alley. "They are gathering something. Likely data or supplies for their next attempt." Lila peered cautiously and saw a group of drones transferring objects into a hidden vehicle. Kiro analyzed the situation, his small form moving with incredible speed. "We must stop them, but carefully. Direct confrontation could be dangerous. Humans are clever. You must remember strategy first," Lila nodded. "I can do this," Kiro smiled faintly. "We shall see." Together they devised a plan. Lila would create a diversion, using a small noise emitter to draw the drone's attention. Kiro would then disable their control system while avoiding direct attacks. The plan required precise timing and trust, both in each other and in their own abilities. When the moment came, Lila activated the noise device. The drones turned toward the sound, scanning and moving as if following a pattern. Kiro darted silently behind them, his small hands manipulating wires and panels with surprising skill. Sparks flew and alarms buzzed as the control system malfunctioned. The drones faltered, confused by the unexpected disruption. Lila held her breath, watching Kiro work. He moved with confidence, calculating risks faster than she could follow. She realized how extraordinary he was. Not just a pet, but a guardian, a teacher, and a friend. The bond between them had grown stronger through every challenge, every obstacle, and every lesson. Finally, the drones powered down, their mission disrupted. Kiro signaled Lila to retreat, and they moved quickly through the streets unnoticed by the remaining crowd. Lila's pulse raced with adrenaline, but she felt exhilarated. They had succeeded because they worked together, human intelligence paired with extraordinary ability. Back in their apartment, Lila collapsed onto her bed, exhausted but thrilled. Kiro perched nearby, his sharp eyes scanning the street through the window. "Today you acted well," he said. "Clever, brave, and adaptable. You are learning fast." Lila smiled, brushing his fur. "I couldn't have done it without you." "You're amazing, Kiro, I mean it." Kiro blinked slowly, an acknowledgement of the compliment. "I do not require praise, but I accept it in this instance. You are a remarkable human. Perhaps this mission will be easier than I anticipated." For the rest of the day, Lila reflected on what she had learned. Kiro was not only a protector, but also a mentor, guiding her to become stronger and smarter. She realized that humans could achieve extraordinary things when they combined courage, intelligence, and trust in others. And now, with Kiro by her side, she felt prepared for challenges she could not yet imagine. That evening, as the city lights glimmered through her window, Lila drew a new picture, this time of Kiro in action, moving like a shadow among the drones. She added details of strategy, intelligence, and bravery, capturing not only his strength but also the lessons he had taught her. Kiro watched silently, occasionally muttering critiques about her technique. Too much emphasis on motion. Focus on accuracy. Humans admire precision as much as drama. "I'll fix it," Lila said with a smile. "I want it to show exactly how smart and brave you are." Kiro tilted his head. "Recognition is not necessary, but I acknowledge the gesture. Humans have a unique way of expressing respect and appreciation." "It is interesting." As she settled into bed, Lila realized something important. The world was not always safe or predictable, but human courage and ingenuity, combined with extraordinary companions like Kiro, could overcome challenges that seemed impossible. She had learned that day that she was stronger than she had imagined, and that with trust, teamwork, and intelligence, humans could face any danger. Kiro curled beside her, smaller, but equally vigilant. He had revealed his true nature, yet their bond had only deepened. Lila understood that this was more than a friendship. It was a partnership built on loyalty, trust, and shared courage, and she knew deep in her heart that whatever threats the future might bring, she would not face them alone. Somewhere deep inside, Kiro felt the same. He had been designed to protect, to guide, and to observe, but in doing so he had found something unexpected. A human he genuinely respected, trusted, and wanted to protect. That connection, rare and precious, made every danger worth facing. As the night stretched on, Lila and Kiro rested, knowing that the challenges ahead would be greater, but also more meaningful. Together they were a force to be reckoned with, a combination of human ingenuity and extraordinary skill. And in that partnership, they had discovered something truly remarkable. the strength that comes when humans and their companions trust each other completely. The city had been unusually quiet for the past few days, but Lila knew better than to trust the calm. She had learned that peace could change to chaos in an instant. Kiro, as always, seemed to sense this, his amber eyes scanning the streets from her bedroom window. Even in rest, he was alert, ready for anything. "Do you think it will come back?" Lila asked softly, sitting beside him. "Perhaps," Kiro said, his voice low and steady. "Threats rarely vanish completely. They only retreat when challenged. We must be ready for the next encounter." Lila nodded, determination settling into her chest. "Then we'll be ready, together." Kiro blinked slowly, acknowledging her words. "Agreed. The human mind, paired with my abilities, creates a combination few adversaries can predict." The following morning, the warning arrived. A faint shimmer of energy in the city's central hub indicated the presence of an advanced drone fleet. Unlike the previous drones, these moved with precision, coordinated by an artificial intelligence far more advanced than anything Lila had seen before. Kiro examined the readings with intense focus. "They are planning something bigger," he said. "They are targeting a location of significance. Observation suggests they aim to capture individuals capable of clever decision-making. Humans like you." Lila felt a shiver run down her spine, but fear quickly turned into resolve. She had grown stronger, smarter, and braver in just a few days with Kiro's guidance. "Then we have to stop them," she said firmly. Kiro's ears twitched. "Correct. But we must not rush. Strategy first, courage second. Action without planning leads to failure." They spent the morning preparing. Lila gathered gadgets and improvised tools while Kiro analyzed the drone's formation patterns. Together, they devised a plan to disrupt the AI's operation without direct confrontation, relying on Lila's quick thinking and Kiro's extraordinary abilities. By midday, they were in position. The city's central hub, a massive plaza with towering holographic displays, stretched before them. Drones hovered in perfect formation, patrolling the area with precision. Lila felt a mixture of awe and anxiety. This was no ordinary challenge. This was a test of everything she had learned so far. "Stay close," Kiro whispered, crouching beside her. "I will handle the immediate threats. You must focus on observation, decision-making, and intervention when necessary." Lila nodded, her heart racing. She realized that this was the moment where human courage and intelligence would truly be tested. And she was ready. Kiro moved first, darting between drones with unmatched agility. He used his small size to his advantage, avoiding detection while disrupting the AI's command signals. Sparks flew as circuits were shorted, and some drones began to falter. The others hesitated, recalculating their approach. Lila watched closely, ready to act when the time came. Suddenly, a large, heavily armed drone descended toward them, its sensors glowing red. Kiro leapt in front of Lila, blocking its path. "This one is dangerous," he said. "I will handle it. You focus on the others." Lila's hands shook slightly, but she remembered his lessons. She scanned the environment, noticing a series of small panels on the surrounding walls, emergency override switches. If she could access them, she might disable several drones at once. Summoning her courage, she ran toward the panels, avoiding laser sensors with precise timing. Kiro engaged the large drone, dodging attacks and striking at weak points with calculated precision. He moved like a shadow, silent yet deadly, protecting Lila while ensuring that the AI could not regain control. Lila reached the first panel and carefully inputted the override commands one after another. With each successful entry, several drones powered down, tumbling to the ground harmlessly. "Good work," Kiro said, noticing her progress. "Human adaptability is impressive." "Thanks," Lila said, her voice determined. "We're not done yet." Together, they worked in perfect synchronization. Kiro fought, dodged, and disabled the immediate threats while Lila used her intelligence to manipulate the environment, shutting down the AI's command system piece by piece. Sparks, beeps, and whirs filled the air, but the humans remained calm, focused, and precise. The final drone, larger than the others, hovered menacingly above them. Its sensors glowed with a sharp red intensity. Lila's pulse quickened, but Kiro was already moving. "Stay behind me," he instructed. "Observe the pattern. Predict the moves." Lila crouched low, watching closely. She noticed a sequence in the drone's movements, a pattern that indicated where its weak points were. "Kiro left! Its side panel," she shouted. He pivoted instantly, striking the indicated area with perfect precision. The drone faltered, then crashed to the ground. Lila's heart raced with exhilaration. Together, they had defeated the threat. The AI's fleet lay disabled, unable to regroup. For a long moment, they stood silently, surveying the aftermath. The plaza was quiet once more, except for the occasional spark from a disabled drone. Lila's hands were shaking, but her smile was wide. "You did it," she whispered, looking at Kiro. "We did it," Kiro corrected, his eyes softening slightly. Teamwork and strategy prevailed. Your human mind was key. Courage alone is not enough. Intelligence amplifies it. Lila hugged him tightly, feeling a deep bond that had grown stronger with every challenge. "Thank you for trusting me. I think I finally understand what you meant about learning and growing." Kiro blinked slowly, acknowledging her words. "You have learned quickly. Humans are remarkable. Their minds, when focused, can surpass expectation. I am pleased to serve as your companion and protector." The rest of the day passed quietly. Lila and Kiro returned home exhausted but triumphant. They shared a simple meal, talking about the lessons they had learned, the strategies they had used, and the courage it had taken to face the AI's fleet. Lila realized that she had grown stronger, not just in skill, but in confidence and resilience. That night, she sat at her desk, drawing a new picture of Kiro in action, capturing every detail of his bravery, intelligence, and determination. Kiro watched silently, occasionally offering small critiques about her technique. "You must emphasize strategy, not just action," he said. "Humans admire both courage and planning. Accuracy in portrayal reflects truth." "I'll fix it," Lila said with a smile. "I want everyone to see how amazing you are." Kiro tilted his head, a rare expression of amusement crossing his features. "Recognition is unnecessary, but it is interesting. You have learned much, Lila. The human spirit combined with adaptability and courage is formidable indeed." As Lila lay down to sleep, Kiro curled beside her. The night was quiet, but both of them remained alert, knowing that challenges could arise again. Yet neither of them feared the future. Together, they had discovered the power of trust, teamwork, and intelligence. They had faced danger, learned from it, and emerged stronger. Lila realized that having Kiro by her side was more than just having a pet. He was her mentor, her protector, and her friend. And Kiro, in turn, recognized in Lila a human worth protecting, clever, brave, and capable of extraordinary things. The city outside slept peacefully, unaware of the small duo who had defended it. But Lila and Kiro knew that the real victory lay not only in defeating the drones, but in the bond they had built. The trust, respect, and courage that would guide them through any future challenge. Somewhere deep inside, Kiro felt the same. He had been designed to observe, protect, and guide, but he had discovered something unexpected: the value of human courage and companionship. This bond, rare and precious, made every danger worth facing. As dawn approached, the first rays of sunlight lit Lila's room, casting long shadows across the floor. She stretched and smiled at Kiro. "Ready for the next adventure?" she asked. Kiro blinked slowly, then gave a small, approving nod. "Always, but remember, preparation is key. Strategy first, courage second." Lila laughed softly. "I'll remember, but I also know that with you by my side, I can face anything." And in that quiet morning, a girl and her extraordinary companion sat together, ready for whatever the universe might throw at them next. They had faced fear, learned, and grown. They had proven that human intelligence, courage, and loyalty, combined with extraordinary skill, could overcome any challenge. The story of Lila and Kiro was far from over. But one thing was certain: together they were unstoppable. And that, more than anything else, was the true power of humanity.